Chapter 161 It's Finally My Turn, by Tianhen is excited. Too fierce. I didn't expect that the big monster who was captured by Yifeng to protect the sect has grown to such a terrifying level now. Bai Tianhen was shocked and speechless after watching the battle just now. Young Master Yi, if you hadn't asked Lord Bloodthirsty Mantis to take action, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince would have been in real danger. We, the Qiyang Kingdom, will remember this favor. At this time, Zhang Dongfeng also came over to express his gratitude to Yifeng. It's okay. It's just that there are too few people. If there were 8 or 10 more powerful warriors at the level of the protector of the nation, this journey wouldn't be so boring. Yifeng indicated that this was nothing and expressed his disappointment. You want to be quiet again? Is it the quiet in Nobita? Seeing Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting walking towards the door again, Yifeng felt helpless and thought that the two had poor psychological endurance. Night fell, but he did not stop to rest and continued to rush at full speed. That night, Yifeng slept very comfortably in the house-shaped flying spiritual device. The next morning, after Yifeng woke up, he also checked today's prodigal product as soon as possible. Today's prodigal product, soul-destroying arrow fragment *10,000. Soul-destroying arrow fragment, the arrow released after fusion will have the power to obliterate the soul. After checking today's prodigal product, Yifeng was also stunned, and then began to scan the people around him. Arrow. Sword. Why not give this soul-destroying arrow fragment to Bai Lao? In the end, Yifeng's eyes stayed directly on Bai Tianhen. Here it comes, that look again. Master, it's hard to be without a wave of spoils every morning, but fortunately it's not me this time. Seeing Yifeng's eyes that looked like he was staring at his prey, the blood-sucking mantis secretly rejoiced, and then looked at Bai Tianhen, who was stupid and knew nothing, and instead revealed a gloating look. Old Bai, you are practicing the way of the sword, right? Yifeng suddenly looked at Bai Tianhen and asked. That's right, and the sword intent I practiced is the same as the great ancestor, both are Tianhen sword intent, although it has not yet reached the ultimate sword intent. Hearing Yifeng's question, Bai Tianhen also hurriedly answered, and even showed expectation in his eyes. He knew that Yifeng would definitely not ask him this question for no reason. Thinking of the Huangquan sword intent of the little yellow dog, even if it is not Tianhen sword intent, if he can be given a bunch of sword intent fragments, no matter what sword intent it is, as long as it can directly reach the ultimate sword intent, he will probably wake up with a smile in his dreams. Tianhen sword intent? It turns out that the sword path that Bai Lao practiced is the sword path of holding the sword at the end of the world. I thought that he practiced the arrow path of the arrow like the purple arrow god of war. Zhang Dongfeng, who was standing aside, heard the conversation between the two and also laughed and interrupted. Archery. Master Zhang, it's not that I look down on the purple arrow god of war, but to be honest, I personally look down on those who only know how to shoot arrows from behind. Hearing this, Zhang Dongfeng also smiled awkwardly. After all, if the archery way can exist, there must be a reason for its existence. Just like the 5 great war gods of their Qiyang kingdom, with 4 of them fighting in the front, the enemy dare not exert their full strength at all, for fear that the purple arrow god of war will give a fatal blow from behind. This is the deterrent power of the archery way, but thinking that the other party was from the prodigal sect, Zhang Dongfeng was very tactful and did not argue about this issue, even though he practiced the way of archery. This saves me from using the function of spying on the secrets of heaven? Hearing Bai Tianheng's words, Yifeng on the side was also shocked. Although he decided to give the soul-destroying arrow fragment to Bai Tianheng, he was still prepared to use the function of spying on the secrets of heaven to confirm it in order to ensure that it would be safe. But now, he felt that there was no need for that at all. Bai Tianheng already disliked the way of archery so much, so it would be perfect for him. As for whether, Bai Tianhong would practice the way of soul-destroying arrow in the future, Yi Feng didn't care. Anyway, it would be done after completing today's prodigal product, and it would not have any impact on Bai Tianhong. He would continue to practice the heavenly cold sword intent in the future. Old Bai, I have some arrow intent fragments here, do you want them? Yi Feng looked at Bai Tianhong and asked with a smile. Sword intent fragments? Yes, I want them. I want any sword intent fragments of any power. Bai Tianhong was so excited that he almost cried when he heard what Yi Feng said. Finally, it's my turn. When I return to the sect, I'll be jealous of those guys. Something's wrong. Something's very wrong. The blood-sucking mantis on the side noticed something was wrong at this time. This behavior was totally unlike Yi Feng's style. But what old Bai is practicing is indeed the way of the sword. Master, what you said is indeed a fragment of sword intent. Which link is wrong? Why do I always feel something is wrong? Regardless of what the blood-sucking mantis thinks at this time, Yi Feng has already walked to a corner of the room with Bai Tianhong. Master blood-sucking mantis, does Master Yi still have a fragment of sword intent? Zhao Ting and Zhang Dongfeng approached the blood-sucking mantis and asked, curiously. Yes. I don't know if you remember that there is a little yellow dog in our sect. It is the Master's favorite demon dog. Not only did he give it the ultimate Huangquan sword intent, but he also helped it break through to the realm of sword heart. He is determined to train it to be the first sword dog on the continent. At this point, the blood-sucking mantis continued with envy, although I got 2 life heart fires rewarded by the master, compared with that sword dog, I am just a younger brother. Huangquan sword intent? Huangquan sword intent in the realm of sword heart? The first sword dog on the continent? After hearing what the blood-sucking mantis said, the 2 of them couldn't help but think of the silly little yellow dog they saw in Xinghuan sect. They never dreamed that the dog would be so fierce. Fuck the eldest prince. Master Zhang, I don't want to live anymore. I have been practicing swordsmanship since I was young, but I still can't see the shadow of the ultimate sword intent. As a result, I am not even as good as a dog now. Hearing this, Zhang Dongfeng shook his head with a wry smile, then silently opened the door and said, Your Highness, you stay here alone. I won't accompany you this time. Although the pronunciation is the same, fortunately, I practice the same archery as the purple arrow god of war, which is not the sword path. Boom. At this moment, an extreme sky-high arrow intent suddenly burst out from Bai Tianhong in the corner. After feeling the breath of this extreme arrow intent, Zhang Dongfeng, Zhao Ting and the blood-sucking mantis were all dumbfounded. Isn't it a sword intent fragment? How did it become an arrow intent fragment? Yi Feng, what's going on? This arrow fragment is not the sword fragment I thought of. I hate the way of arrows the most. What's the use of this ultimate arrow? As Bai Tianhong's collapse sounded, Zhang Dongfeng also walked to the door and said, Grand Prince, move aside and give me a place. I want to be quiet too. Chapter 162 Double Swords, Arrows, combined into one, invincible in the world. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing today's waste product. Reward 1000 waste points and 5 arrow heart advanced fragments. Hearing the reward prompt sound from the system, and looking at Bai Tianhong who looked collapsed, Yi Feng took out an arrow heart advanced fragment and said, Old Bai, do you want to have the soul-destroying arrow of the arrow heart realm? No. I don't want to. Yi Feng, just let me go. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bai Tianhong was going crazy. He thought that he had lived an upright life, so how could he be a despicable villain who secretly shot arrows? I want to. I really want to. Zhang Dongfeng, who was standing at the door, had already screamed in his heart when he heard this. So what if he had survived 8 heavenly thunder tribulations? Until now, he has not broken through the purple sun arrow intent to the arrow heart realm. It is precisely because of this reason that he is much weaker than the strong men of the same realm. Even the purple arrow god of war shook his head in disappointment every time he saw him. No one knows the pain in his heart. But now there is such an opportunity, and the other party doesn't want it. This is simply killing him. Master Zhang, how about I get out of the way first? I feel that the damage you have suffered in this wave is much greater than mine. Zhao Ting knew Zhang Dongfeng's situation very well, and at this time he silently gave up the entire door position. Boom! As a more powerful arrow intent rushed up from Bai Tianhong's body, the whole room instantly became quiet. A few minutes later, 4 people and 1 demon sat around. The gloating blood-sucking mantis. Bai Tianhong, who was in agony. Zhao Ting, who was at a loss. Zhang Dongfeng, who was in a state of collapse. What are those expressions on your faces? Yi Feng, who looked like he had never done anything before, asked curiously as he looked at the different expressions of the 3 people and the demon. Yi Feng, if the other elders of Xingji sect and some old friends I know that I have the arrow spirit of the arrow heart realm, they will definitely laugh at me to death. In the past, I have often said bad things about archery in front of them. Hearing this, Yi Feng said directly, if you don't say it, who will know? Even if you shoot them a few times, they won't know that it was you who shot them. Isn't that fun? Besides, the 2 swords, arrows, are combined into one, and you can attack when you advance or retreat, and you can shoot a few cold arrows when you have nothing to do. Isn't this more interesting than just practicing swords? Huh? Hearing Yi Feng's persuasion, Bai Tianhong was stunned. Thinking of returning to Xingji sect in the future, secretly shooting a few arrows at those old guys, and no one will know that he shot them at that time, thinking of this, he felt that this archery seemed to be not bad. Young Master Yi, you are right. My previous understanding of archery was too extreme. After thinking it through, Bai Tianhong also became excited. He couldn't wait to feel the feeling of shooting cold arrows. Is this the power of a spendthrift? Thinking of Leng Wufeng changing his profession to become a chef because of the 7 knives containing weapon spirits. Thinking of himself preparing to attack the alchemy demon because of the 2 lifeblood fires. Seeing Bai Tianhong change his radical attitude after many years because of the arrow intention in the arrow heart realm. The blood-sucking mantis only felt his scalp tingling at this moment. At this moment, he realized that although Yi Feng seemed to be just a spendthrift, he was changing everything imperceptibly. This is an invisible change, and it is precisely because of this that the blood-sucking mantis feels terrified. Invincible. After hearing Yi Feng's words, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting looked at Bai Tianhong, with only this thought in their minds. What is the most feared by the archery monk? Being close to the enemy. Only a sufficient distance can allow the archery monk to exert the strongest power. But what about Bai Tianhong? Far away, arrows. Close, swords. If you can cultivate both swords, arrows, to the extreme, it will definitely be an extremely terrifying existence. Thinking of this, the 2 of them looked at the smiling Yi Feng together. That is not just a prodigal sect. It is also a sect that constantly creates monsters. The first sword dog on the continent. The first alchemy demon on the continent. A powerful double sword, arrow, master. This is just the tip of the iceberg they know, and they don't even dare to imagine what unknown terrifying power the people in the other sects have. Ding. Remind the host that the Heavenly Tao Order is found in the town below. Ding. Issue a task, please find the Heavenly Tao Order yourself, and do not use the function of peeping into the secrets of heaven. If the task is successful, you will get 1 million prodigal points. If the task fails, there is no penalty and you can refuse it. At this time, the system's prompt sound suddenly rang. Stop first, let's go to the town below to rest for a while. Hearing the system's prompt and the task issued, Yifeng looked directly at Zhao Ting and said, "One heavenly Dao order. 1,000,000 prodigal points." There is no reason for Yifeng not to receive such a generous reward. In addition, after having stayed in this house-shaped flying spiritual device for half a day and a night, Yifeng also felt a little bored. After a while, "I'll go out for a walk by myself." After saying that, Yifeng started to wander around the town. Although the system asked him to find it by himself, he believed that it would not be very difficult to find it, and the system would not give him a difficult task. Have you heard about it? There is a drunk monk in Hangyun restaurant who said that he has a Tiandao order that can enter Tiandao City. I don't know if it is true or not. It should be false. I have been to the Tiandao battlefield many times, but I have never heard of any Tiandao order, let alone Tiandao City. That's right, if it is true, I am afraid someone would have robbed it long ago. After wandering around for 2 hours, the conversation between the two people who suddenly walked by attracted Yifeng's attention. Interesting. This town is considered a town with a large number of ordinary people. Although there are some cultivators, the number is not large. Is that why that guy dared to show his Tiandao order? With doubts, Yifeng walked directly towards the Hongyun restaurant, not far away. You know nothing. The prosperity of Tiandao City is far beyond your imagination. Have you ever seen a car running on 4 wheels? Have you ever seen a tall building? Don't even mention you ordinary people, even we cultivators have never seen it. As soon as he entered the restaurant, Yifeng saw a bald man standing on the table, talking about the novelty of Tiandao City to many ordinary people around him with a drunken face, like a storyteller. I tell you, Tiandao City is the world of rich people. As long as you have money, as long as you can go to Tiandao City, even if you let the cultivators who are unattainable in your eyes wash your feet, they have to do it obediently. The bald man took a sip of strong liquor and continued to talk excitedly while looking at dozens of ordinary people around him. Hey, do you have a Tiandao order? Squeezing from the crowd to the front, Yifeng looked at the bald drunk standing on the table and asked directly. Chapter 163, Good Wine. How old is your wine? In the guest room of the restaurant. You want the Tiandao order in my hand? Boy, don't say I look down on you, can you afford it? The bald man looked at Yifeng and asked with interest. You like drinking? Instead of answering his own question, he asked such a question, which made the bald man look stunned. I am a monk who loves wine and meat. Wine and meat pass through my intestines, but Buddha stays in my heart. Do you think I like drinking? The bald man grinned and answered Yifeng in the form of a rhetorical question. I have wine here. Do you have a story? As he said that, Yifeng took out a pot of wanchao chongli and put it on the table, then took out 2 wine glasses and filled them with wine. Ding ding dang, however, when the bald man smelled the aroma of the wine, he stepped back several steps in horror, pointing at Yifeng and said, You want to hurt me? What the hell? This big, bald man actually knows the goods? Seeing the reaction of the bald man, Yifeng was also shocked. Originally, he wanted to break a few pots of fine wine to stimulate the other party, but it was definitely impossible to let the other party drink it. After all, after drinking this thing, drinking other fine wines in the future will be boring. Do you know this wine? Yifeng looked at the bald man and asked in surprise. 10,000 herbs nectar. This wine is a great terror in Tiandao City. I don't know how many alcoholics have quit drinking because of it. Looking at Yifeng, who seemed to know nothing, the bald man let down his guard a little and explained. Have you drunk this wine? Suddenly thinking of something, the bald man looked at Yifeng and asked, curiously. I have drunk it. Hey, hearing Yifeng's answer, the bald man sighed, then looked at Yifeng and said, You are useless, you will never drink wine in this life. Although this wanchao chongjiang liquid is extremely fragrant, it has a terrible consequence, that is, after drinking this wine, you will feel bored when drinking other wines in the future, and your mind will be full of this wine. However, this consequence is not irreversible. Depending on the years when the Wanchao Chongjiang liquid was sealed, the duration of this effect is also different, and it is not permanent. Oh. Hearing this, Yifeng showed a touch of surprise, because he really didn't know about this situation. The system didn't have this information in the introduction of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid at the beginning. It just said that after drinking it, you will become addicted to alcohol, and drinking other wines will be boring. He didn't know that this effect was time-limited. System, is what the monk said true or false? In order to confirm this situation, Yifeng also asked the system directly. Ding. What the other party said is true. The duration of this effect after drinking is 1/10 of the dust-sealed years. Taking one pot as the standard, every time you drink one more pot, the duration of the effect after drinking will increase by 1/10 of the dust-sealed years. 1/10? In other words, after drinking his 10,000-year-old Wanchao Chongjiang, as long as you can survive 1,000 years, you will be fine? But if you drink 10 pots directly, you will have to endure 10,000 years, and if you drink 100 pots, you will have to endure 100,000 years. By the way, how old is your Wanchao Chongjiang? The bald man suddenly thought of something at this time, looked at Yifeng and asked, curiously. 10. No, 1. Before Yifeng finished speaking, the bald man's eyes suddenly lit up, and he picked up the wine glass on the table and drank it down. After drinking it, his face instantly revealed an extremely enjoyable look. No wonder so many wine lovers in Tianhen City know the horror of this wine, but still want to drink a glass regardless of everything. I have been drinking wine for so many years, and I am willing to call this wine the strongest. At this point, the bald man smiled and continued, and this wine has only been sealed for 10 years, but it makes me so obsessed. Even if I suffer for a year, it is worth it. What 10 years? I wanted to say 100,000 years, but suddenly realized that I was wrong. I was about to change my words to say 10,000 years. Why are your hands so fast and your mouth so greedy? Little brother, this wine is very strange. It is based on one pot. Anyway, I have to suffer for a year. Can you let me drink 2 more cups? Don't worry, I am not a person who takes advantage of others. How about exchanging this Tiandao order for this wine? Looking at the whole pot of Wanchao Jingjiang on the table, the bald man also hurriedly took out the Tiandao order. He really wanted to drink 2 more sips now. Drink it. At this point, Yifeng also smiled bitterly helplessly. He wanted to smash a few pots to stimulate the other party, but who would have thought that it would develop like this? Gulp. Gulp. After drinking 2 more cups, the wine monk looked at Yifeng and asked, by the way, what did you want to say just now? Thinking of interrupting Yifeng before, the wine monk also asked, curiously. That. I was wrong before, the year of this wine does not start with 10. Yifeng looked at the wine monk with a strange look and explained. It's not a year starting with 10? Then the one at the end is actually a year, starting with 1? Thinking of this, the wine monk was inexplicably panicked. 1 year? Seeing Yifeng shaking his head, the wine monk's face suddenly became ugly, and he continued to ask with difficulty, is it 100 years? Don't shake your head. You shake my heart and my heart is pounding. Seeing Yifeng shaking his head again, the wine monk's mentality collapsed. 1,000 years. I actually drank 1,000-year-old Wanchao Chongli. I have to endure the pain of not drinking for 100 years. I am broken. Since it is not 100 years, the wine monk has determined that this is 1,000-year-old wine. After all, a 10,000-year-old Wanchao Chongli is the best wine in the spiritual wine shops in Tianhen City, and each spiritual wine shop only has 1 pot as the best wine in the store. That. Actually, the age of this wine is 10,000 years. Yifeng looked at the wine monk who was on the verge of collapse and reminded him awkwardly. 10,000 years? Hee hee. 10,000 years. Ha ha ha, hearing Yifeng's words, the wine monk went crazy. 1,000 years without wine was like asking for his life. 10 minutes. After laughing wildly for 10 minutes, the wine monk gradually calmed down, and a look of relief appeared on his face. He said, "Forget it, now that things have come to this, I will take this opportunity to quit drinking." Hearing the wine monk's words, Yifeng felt that he should do something to compensate at this time. Bang! 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 As pots of 10,000-year-old herbal nectar were taken out of the system space by Yifeng and placed on the table, the wine monk was going crazy. "What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not really going to quit drinking, I'm just giving myself psychological comfort. After 1,000 years, I'm still a wine and meat monk. But what are you going to do now? 1,000 years is not enough. Are you going to extend the effect of drinking to my death?" Chapter 164 Yi Shao, is this the wine we used to soak our feet last time? Drunken monk, since you are ready to quit drinking anyway, I will let you drink to your heart's content today. Don't worry, I have enough wine, and all of them are 10,000 years old. If 10 pots are not enough, then 100 pots. If 100 pots are not enough, then 1,000 pots. As long as you can drink it, I will give it to you. After taking out 30 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang, Yifeng looked at the drunken monk with a serious face and said with his wealth. 1 pot lasts for 1,000 years, and 1,000 pots last for 1,000,000 years. This guy really wants to kill me and never let me drink wine again in this life. After hearing what Yifeng said, looking at the 30 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid on the table in front of him, the wine monk was really going crazy. It would be fine if there was no wine. But if there was, although he knew the consequences were serious, he really couldn't help but want to drink it all. The fatal attraction of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid is no joke. Little brother, I was just joking. I'm not really going to quit drinking, I'm just giving myself psychological comfort. If you do this now, you will really kill me. Finally, the wine monk couldn't help but complain to Yifeng. Then I put it away? Hearing this, Yifeng was also stunned. He really didn't expect this to be the case. Looking at the 30 pots of fine wine in front of him, he could only smile bitterly and say his proposal. Even if you put it away, I will still miss it. You shouldn't take it out. Bang! 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 As the crisp sound of wine jugs breaking rang out, the wine monk, who had not yet finished speaking, was completely stunned. 30 jugs of 10,000-year-old Wanchao Jinglu were actually broken like this. Looking at the fine wine spilled all over the ground, the wine monk felt his heart broken. I'm just complaining. These are all priceless wines of the store. Are you a spendthrift? Hearing this, Yifeng suddenly laughed and said, I have been hiding so deeply, but I didn't expect you to find me. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task, and you will be rewarded with 1,000,000 spendthrift points and 10,000 God-level hangover pills. God-level hangover pills can relieve the effects of any wine in the lower world, whether it is fine wine or poisonous wine, including the 10,000-year-old Wanchao Jingjiang liquid. Hearing the reward prompt sound of the system, Yifeng asked in confusion, System, your reward is delayed? Ding! Don't panic, host, the system will never default on any rewards. Due to the influence of the host, the system will enter sleep mode from time to time. Hearing this, Yifeng's face was instantly covered with black lines. You are a system and you are sleeping? And you are still affected by me. I sleep to find the 7 fairies to play games. What are you sleeping for? Drunk monk, eat this. After complaining about the system, Yifeng took out a god-level hangover pill and handed it to the collapsed drunk monk. 10 patterns? God pill? Little brother, what kind of god pill is this? Drunk monk was stunned. He never dreamed that there was a god pill in this world. Wine monk, it's okay if you say it once or twice, but I hope you call me big brother from now on, otherwise my brother will be angry. What's the difference between little brother and big brother? What does my name have to do with your brother? Although he was very confused, the wine monk still changed his words and said, Big brother, what kind of magic pill is this? God-level hangover pill. As long as you take this pill, let alone drink a pot of 10,000 years of Wanchao Chongli, even if you drink 100 pots in one breath, you will not become addicted to alcohol in the future, and you will not find any wine tasteless. Hearing Yifeng's explanation, the wine monk looked at the magic pill in his hand, and then looked down at the fine wine spilled on the ground. His mentality gradually collapsed and he yelled at Yifeng, You have this magic pill, you should take it out earlier, you are not wasting wine, you are wasting me. Don't I just want to sell a Tiandao order? You are a spendthrift. You are amazing. But don't waste me with these fine wines. Tear. As he said this, the wine monk tearfully tore off a piece of cloth from his robe, and began to use it to absorb the fine wine spilled on the ground, then twisted it and poured it into his wine gourd. No, we are cultivators, can't we use spiritual power to wrap all the fine wine spilled on the ground and pour it into the wine gourd? Seeing this scene, Yifeng was really shocked, but he couldn't help but complain. I want to use this method to remind me how hard it is to get these wines. Hearing the wine monk's words, Yifeng directly took out another 30 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang from the system space and put them on the table. Drink it. Bang. Hearing this, and seeing the new 30 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang on the table, the wine monk kicked the wine gourd to the ground and cursed, Fuck hard-earned. While drinking and talking, Yifeng realized that the wine monk in front of him had worked in Tiandao City for nearly 100 years. Although he used the Tiandao points he earned to buy some things he needed, he was really tired of it. In addition, he saw too many good things in Tiandao City during his spare time. The feeling of seeing but not being able to buy them made him collapse. As a result, within 2 years of coming out, he unexpectedly got a Tiandao order, so he thought of selling it and never let himself suffer that pain again. Young Master Yi, these 10,000-year-old Wanchao Jingjiang are considered the best in Tiandao City. How did you get so many? The wine monk looked at Yifeng curiously and asked. I got it by spending money. Hearing Yifeng's righteous answer, the wine monk almost went crazy. God damn, I got it by spending money. I am a wine monk, not a stupid monk. Can you have a little respect for my IQ? Young Master Yi, you are here. Just now I found something interesting, that is, when the blood-sucking mantis pushed open the door and walked in, he smelled the familiar aroma of wine, looked directly at Yifeng and said excitedly, Young Master Yi, isn't this the wine we used to soak our feet last time? Soaking feet? Soaking feet with the 10,000-year-old Wanchao Chongjiang liquid, are you sure he didn't invite you here to show off? Hearing what the blood-sucking mantis said, the wine monk said that I have deep doubts about you. After a while. Prodigal son. You are all fucking prodigal sons. Aren't you afraid that you will be beaten to death one day by others for being so prodigal? Seeing the man and the monster soaking their feet with the Wanchao Chongjiang liquid, the wine monk felt that Yifeng's crazy prodigal behavior had become his psychological shadow. I'm absolutely crazy. People have left me 30 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid, but now I have an urge to keep their foot washing water. In the empty guest room, looking at the 2 wine foot basins left by Yifeng and the blood-sucking mantis, the wine monk's eyes were filled with fierce struggle. Chapter 165 The most direct and brutal act of squandering money. Master, who was that bald guy just now? Is he the person you plan to bring back to the sect? After leaving the restaurant, the blood-sucking mantis also asked, curiously. Just a passerby who can help me get something. If I want to take him back to the sect, how could I not even know his name? You can think of him as a passerby. Hearing the blood-sucking mantis's question, Yifeng also explained with a smile. Passerby? I can't understand this either. Although he was even more confused, in order to prove that he was not a monster with good looks but no brains, the blood-sucking mantis tactfully stopped talking about this topic. By the way, what interesting things did you just say you found? Thinking of what the blood-sucking mantis had not finished saying before, Yifeng also asked, curiously. Nothing, I just met an arrogant guy. That guy claimed to be the first loser in Zizhu City and was said to be the son of the city lord. But that guy is quite popular among the people in the city, but his father has to beat him several times a day. At this point, the blood-sucking mantis suddenly laughed and said, Master, do you want to bring this guy to the sect? No. Since this guy already has the potential to be a loser, what's the point of bringing him to the sect? It will make me feel very unfulfilled. Hearing the reasons given by Yifeng, the blood-sucking mantis was speechless for a while. Come on, take me to see how much this first loser in Zizhu City is a loser. If possible, I will let him walk on the right path. Hearing this, the blood-sucking mantis's expression suddenly changed, and he said in shock, You led the good loser to the road of losing, and you want to make the loser stop losing. You are worthy of being the master, you really know how to play. Master, how are you going to make him give up losing and become a good person? On the way, the blood-sucking mantis asked, curiously. Let him know what a real loser is in the most direct and rough way. Hearing Yifeng's words, the blood-sucking mantis became excited instead. To defeat a loser with a loser, besides the master, who else could it be? A moment later. Young Master Wang is out to spend again today. Do you want to come to my shop? Young Master Wang, you are the one who spends money. Do you want to come to my shop? Hearing that many shop owners on the street were enthusiastically greeting a young man in luxurious clothes, Yifeng shook his head in disappointment. Isn't it obvious that he is a sucker? Who are you? Seeing the strange young man who blocked his way, Wang Chen also frowned and asked. I heard that you are the #1 loser in Zizhu City. It just so happens that I am also a loser. It is fate that we met today, so I want to learn from you about the way of spending money. Hearing Wang Chen's question, Yifeng also smiled and said the purpose of stopping the other party. In the city lord's mansion. Master, the young master, brought back 2 young men. It is said that one of them is also a prodigal son. The 2 of them are preparing to have a good fight on the way of prodigal son. When he said this, the old housekeeper's facial muscles twitched. In his life for so many years, he had heard of fighting in the way of swordsmanship, fighting in the way of alchemy, fighting in the way of refining weapons, but this was the first time he heard of fighting in the way of prodigal son. Fighting in the way of prodigal son? When the city lord Wang Hongyang heard this, he was so angry that his whole body began to tremble. His prodigal son was really going to anger him to death. Good. Really good, they are going to fight in the way of prodigal son, then I will go over to learn more. With that, Wang Hongyang left the main hall in the mansion and quickly walked towards Wang Chen's residence. Tell me, how do you want to fight? When he arrived at the residence, Wang Chen also looked at Yifeng provocatively and asked. It's very simple, just see who is more of a spendthrift. As long as you can keep following me and doing the same thing. Hearing Wang Chen's question, Yifeng also smiled and expressed his thoughts. The way of spending. This is the first time I've heard of a competition on the way of spending. Do you mind if I stay here and learn more? At this moment, Wang Hongyang's voice, suppressed with anger, came from a distance. Father, why are you here? Seeing Wang Hongyang walking quickly in the distance, Wang Chen's eyes also revealed a hint of doubt. Okay, I'm very short on time, let's get started. From now on, if you take out something from the space ring, I will take out the same thing, and then you just need to do the same thing as me. Hearing Yifeng's words, Wang Chen and Wang Hongyang were also slightly confused, but Wang Chen quickly agreed and took out a 5-patterned third-grade Qingxue pill. Sorry, I don't have 5-patterned ones. Yifeng opened the pill jar and took out a 9-patterned third-grade Qingxue pill. After letting the two take a closer look, he threw it on the ground and stomped it into pill mud. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? That's a 9-patterned Qingxue pill. Before they could react from the shock of Yifeng taking out the 9-patterned Qingxue pill, Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen, father and son, saw Yifeng stomping the pill into pill mud. Spendthrift. This is really a spendthrift. Wang Chen, who reacted, also had a look of dissatisfaction in his eyes, and threw the third-grade Qingxue pill in his hand to the ground and stomped it into pill mud. Next one. Forget it, I'm afraid you can't come up with anything valuable. Yifeng took out 1,000 god-level hangover pills and threw them on the ground. 1 pattern. 2 patterns. 5 patterns. 10 patterns. When Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen saw the 10 patterns on the densely packed red pills on the ground, they felt their minds exploded and their eyes were filled with disbelief. God pills. It turned out to be God pills. And there were so many God pills. Wait. What are you going to do? Are you crazy? At this moment, when Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen saw Yifeng bend his legs slightly and prepare to jump, they seemed to think of something extremely terrible at the same time, and shouted with horror. Pung! As Yifeng jumped and landed, his feet steadily stepped on more than 10 god-level pills into pill mud. Hiss! The blood-sucking mantis, who saw this scene, couldn't help but gasp. This is really the most direct and rude way to lose money. Not to mention Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen, father and son, even if he has experienced countless times of losing money, he feels heartbroken when he sees this scene. Don't step on it. I admit that you are the strongest loser, don't step on it, these are all legendary god-level pills. Seeing Yifeng start to run on thousands of god pills, Wang Chen collapsed and shouted. It is no exaggeration to say that even the value of a god pill is hundreds of times more than their city lord's mansion. Chapter 166 My lord, don't play with me like this, come on, come and step on me together. Looking at the collapsed Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen, father and son, Yifeng directly gave the final blow. Handsome, look how happy they are playing. Yifeng stepped aside and looked at the two people running freely on the god-level hangover pills, and walked directly out of the city lord's mansion with handsome blood. Under the scorching sun, thinking of running on the god pill, that is our lost heart of losing money, Yifeng felt that everything today would definitely become an unforgettable memory for Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen, father and son. I'm so jealous. When I can refine the magic pill in the future, I want to play like this once. Thinking of this, the blood-sucking mantis suddenly shook his head and said to himself, it's too small, my vision is too small. If the master knew what I was thinking just now, he would definitely look down on me. How can I play by myself? I must bring everyone in the sect to play together. After Yifeng and the blood-sucking mantis left for a while, Wang Hongyang and Wang Chen stopped. Seeing all the divine pills being trampled into mud pills, Wang Hongyang suddenly looked at Wang Chen standing beside him and said apologetically, Xiaochen, father has wronged you before. Compared with this crazy prodigal son, you are already considered thrifty. Father, let's collect these divine-level mud pills first. After all, these divine-level mud pills are also priceless. This is also an opportunity he gave us. I will never be a prodigal again, because I don't deserve it at all. Hearing this, Wang Hongyang was also deeply relieved when he saw Wang Chen bending down and silently collecting divine-level mud pills. He could feel that his son had really changed, and for the better. Ding! Congratulations to the host for letting Wang Chen give up his defeat and become a good person by spending money. You will be rewarded with 500,000 spending points and star soul destroying bow *1. Star soul destroying bow contains a star dark snake spirit, which can devour the power of the stars and bless the arrows. If it is used by a soul-destroying arrow cultivator, it can perfectly burst out the full power of the star soul-destroying bow. Yi Feng was also stunned when he heard the prompt sound of the system when he just left the city lord's mansion. Helping others to give up their defeat and become a good person can actually get rewards? Master, what is this? Seeing Yi Feng suddenly handing him a black longbow, the blood-sucking mantis was also stunned. Star soul-destroying bow contains a very strong spirit and is very suitable for the soul-destroying arrow that Bai Lao practices. You will give it to him later. After saying that, Yi Feng continued to walk forward. Got it. Bai Lao has too little experience, and the master is too lazy to guide him. This is to let me guide Bai Lao. Moreover, this may also be a test for me. Thinking of this, the blood-sucking mantis immediately chased after Yi Feng, and at the same time began to think about how to let Bai Lao use this star soul-destroying bow properly. On the other side, forget it. These bow-type spiritual weapons are too rubbish, they are not suitable for me at all. I'd better wait until I return to the sect and let Elder Chu tailor a bow-type spiritual weapon for me. Hearing Bai Tianheng's words, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting on the side also revealed a touch of surprise. Old Bai, how good is the weapon-making level of the Elder Chu you mentioned? If not, when we get to the Imperial City, let the top weapon-making master of our Qiyang Kingdom tailor a bow-type spiritual weapon for you. Zhao Ting's eyes turned at this time, and suddenly looked at Bai Tianheng and smiled and made a suggestion. Can the top weapon-making master of your kingdom also make a spiritual weapon with a low-level weapon spirit? If so, I really want to have a bow-type spiritual weapon of my own as soon as possible. Hearing Zhao Ting's proposal, Bai Tianheng was also somewhat tempted, mainly because after he figured it out, he really wanted to feel the feeling of shooting cold arrows as soon as possible. With his strength of the third level of the Tribulation Realm and the ultimate soul-destroying arrow intention, as long as he gets familiar with it, he can soon become a qualified archery master. However, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting were dumbfounded when they heard this. A spiritual weapon with a weapon spirit that can be made by a weapon-making master in the lower realm? Everyone, we can continue on our way. At this moment, Yi Feng's voice suddenly came from a distance. A moment later, in the house-shaped flying spiritual weapon. Star soul-destroying bow. Contains a weapon spirit? When Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting saw the black longbow that the blood-sucking mantis took out, they were stunned. Just now they were still confused, and they couldn't believe that there was really a weapon refiner in the lower world who could create a spiritual weapon containing a weapon spirit, but he took one out in the opposite hand. Old Bai, you should drip blood to acknowledge the master first. I don't know if this weapon spirit will lead to the heavenly calamity cloud. Anyway, the 9 dragon soul weapon spirits in the 9 dragon burning heaven cauldron that young Master Yi gave me did not lead to the heavenly calamity cloud at the beginning, but the weapon spirits in the 7 knives of Leng Wufeng did lead to the heavenly calamity cloud. This thing is unpredictable. The blood-sucking mantis said with a slightly solemn expression at this time. 3? There are actually 3 spiritual weapons containing weapon spirits in your small sect? One of them even led to the heavenly calamity cloud? You are all fine like this? Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting, who heard the words of the blood-sucking mantis, felt troubled. The horror of this small sect has far exceeded their imagination. Just drip blood to acknowledge the master, and leave the rest to me. If the heavenly calamity cloud is really drawn, Yi Feng just wants to try whether the eyes of destruction can directly destroy the heavenly calamity cloud. Huh. With an excited heart and trembling hands, Bai Tianheng let out a breath and cut his finger to drop a drop of blood on the star soul-destroying bow. Boom! As a force of heavenly Tao pressure descended, 100-foot-long giant python with a black body and countless golden spots on its body broke through the roof of the house-shaped flying spiritual weapon, and let out an angry roar towards the heavenly Tao tribulation cloud that was rapidly condensing above. What kind of weapon spirit is this? It's so damn scary. And this suffocating thunderbolt aura, what on earth am I going through? Looking at the 100-foot-long black python in the air, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting were really scared to death. Looking at the two people and the demon beside them again, they were horrified to find that they were not afraid, but showed endless excitement on their faces. Ha ha ha. I can finally get out this time, my lord, I miss you so much. Destruction eyes. As a space crack appeared in the sky, a sturdy bald man just stepped out of the space crack with 1 foot, and Yifeng also used the destruction eyes at this time. The power of destruction flashed and disappeared. And the heavenly calamity cloud that was about to condense in the air also disappeared without a trace at this moment, as if it had never appeared. After so many times, I was finally picked, but I have to go back after taking 1 step. My lord, don't play with me like this. Even if I can walk out and breathe the fresh air of another world, it will be fine. With endless reluctance and grievance, the bald man silently took back his right foot. Chapter 167, The Bloodsucking Mantis's Wasteful Proposal, with Humidity. Huh? Bald, didn't you go to protect my lord? A little girl eating a lollipop saw the bald man with tears in his eyes, and asked with confusion. I also want to protect my lord. But this time, my master solved the crisis himself. Last time, he took a left foot, and this time, he took a right foot. Why can that madman always go out to help my master, but I can only show my feet? Hearing the bald man's cry, the little girl looked down at the bald man's 2 big feet and suddenly said, why don't you try wearing shoes next time? Ugh. When the little girl saw the bald man suddenly sit on the ground and smell her big feet after hearing her proposal, she couldn't help but vomit, and instantly felt that the lollipop in her mouth became disgusting. It doesn't stink. Is it really because I don't wear shoes? The bald man touched his smooth head and made a decision, secretly. If he was drawn again next time, he would try wearing shoes. Master, just now I saw a big foot without shoes suddenly stretched out from a space crack. Is it the strong man guarding you? As the heavenly robbery cloud disappeared, the blood-sucking mantis also looked at Yifeng and asked, curiously. Déjà vu. That big foot without shoes always gives me a sense of déjà vu. It should be one of the people protecting me. Never mind. I'm going to sleep first. You help Bai Lao get familiar with the star soul-destroying bow. By the way, this bow can only exert its true power at night. After saying that, Yifeng walked to a corner and lay down to rest. Sure enough. The master is testing me, otherwise he wouldn't remind me to instruct Bai Lao again and again. Hearing Yifeng's words, the blood-sucking mantis became more certain of his previous guess. Too awesome. I didn't expect that I, Bai Tianheng, would have such a powerful spiritual weapon in my lifetime. No wonder Yifeng brought me out this time. I'm afraid he had prepared all these for me. So what if it's shameless to sneak attack? Can being honest and upright still make a living? Just when Bai Tianheng was thinking about it, the blood-sucking mantis suddenly came over and asked seriously, Old Bai, how do you want to use this star soul-destroying bow in the future? How do you use it? It is my lifeblood now. Unless I meet an opponent recognized by me, no one can let me use it. Although he didn't know why the blood-sucking mantis asked this question, Bai Tianheng still gave his answer. What about when it's not used? After hearing this, the blood-sucking mantis continued to ask. Of course it's worshipped. You have to wipe it dozens of times a day. Bai Tianhong looked at the star soul-destroying bow in his hand with tenderness and smiled, and answered. Hearing this, the bloodthirsty mantis showed a disappointed look and said, "Are you doing this to the master?" "Who is the master?" "He is the strongest prodigal son. Let's not talk about my 9 dragons, burning heaven cauldron, going to smash people. Let's say Leng Wufeng followed the master out for a trip. When he returned to the sect, he was ready to use the 7 knives to chop wood. Now you are actually going to offer this broken bow? You have too few opportunities to be with the master. You need to improve in this aspect of prodigal. I will remind you more in the future." Hearing the words of the bloodthirsty mantis, Bai Tianhong was completely numb. He never thought that the bloodthirsty mantis and Leng Wufeng had reached such a crazy level of prodigal. Although shocked, he understood one thing: the bloodthirsty mantis reminded him right. "Handsome blood, how do you think I should use this star soul-destroying bow?" Bai Tianhong also looked at the bloodthirsty mantis and asked with a posture of asking for advice. "I've already thought about it for you. You are now a dual sword, arrow, monk, and the master may give you a big sword with a powerful weapon spirit in the future, so I thought of a permanent solution for you. When you return to the sect, insert the long sword into the wall and leave the hilt, then hang the star soul-destroying bow on the hilt, then you can hang your pants." After saying his thoughts, the blood-sucking mantis couldn't help but reveal a hint of pride. However, Bai Tianhong's eyes widened instantly after hearing this, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. "Handsome, using the star soul-destroying bow to dry your pants is a bit too disrespectful. Besides, as a cultivator, you don't need to wash that kind of private things. Even if you wash it, you can use your spiritual power to make it dry instantly." Crazy. Bai Tianhong was really going crazy. If other archery masters saw him using such a powerful star soul-destroying bow to dry his pants, they would be pissed to death. "Then you can continue to worship it. You have to understand one thing. Just like my 9 dragons burning heaven cauldron, its main purpose is to hit people, and alchemy is just a part-time job. Don't say I didn't remind you. If you don't spend money well, the master may not necessarily give you a better bow weapon when you ascend to the upper realm in the future." After saying that, the blood-sucking mantis walked directly to the side. He said everything he should say. Whether he can understand it depends on Bai Tianhong himself. A few minutes later, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting stood at the door again, letting the wind blow on their faces. A longbow with a weapon spirit. The weapon spirit even drew out the heavenly calamity cloud. Such a terrifying longbow was actually used by that old Bai to hang his pants. "Master Zhang, can you still stand it?" Zhao Ting asked Zhang Dongfeng with a wry smile. "I am completely convinced that you have lost so much. It doesn't matter whether I can hold on or not. I'm just worried about whether the purple arrow god of war can hold on when he sees the scene in the imperial city." At this point, Zhang Dongfeng suddenly looked at Yi Feng, who was sleeping in the corner. A trace of fear flashed in his eyes, and he thought to himself, "Others may not have noticed it, but I saw it." Just one glance destroyed the heavenly tribulation cloud. "What a terrifying person you are." The next morning, he can really sleep. Seeing Yi Feng finally waking up with his body stretched, whether it was Zhang Dongfeng, Zhao Ting, Bai Tianhong or bloodthirsty mantis, they were really impressed by Yi Feng's focus on sleeping. Fuck. What is that thing, a clothes hanger from another world? When Yi Feng saw the star soul-destroying bow and the wet panties hanging on the wall of the room, he was completely stunned. "Old Bai, it has to be you. I didn't expect that the star soul-destroying bow could be used in this way. You have found the correct way to use it. Don't worry, I will get you a better one when you reach the upper realm." After being shocked, Yi Feng also gave a high recognition to Bai Tianhong's operation. Chapter 168 Go to Practice. Squandering is the kingly way. Young Master Yi, what do you think of my operation? Seeing that Yi Feng approved of this squandering behavior so much, Zhang Dongfeng finally couldn't bear it. After releasing a trace of spiritual power to protect his neck, he took out his cherished longbow and hung it on his neck, shaking his head and circling around. "Master Zhang, what are you doing?" Seeing this scene, Yifeng also asked in surprise. "I'm old, this can relieve the pain in my neck," Zhang Dongfeng said shamelessly. After hearing Zhang Dongfeng's explanation, Yifeng's eyes lit up and he laughed. "I didn't expect that Master Zhang is actually a fellow traveler. Come on, I have some wine. Tell me your story." "Wine?" Zhang Dongfeng's eyes sparkled when he heard about wine. He was also a wine lover. The most important thing was that the wine that Yifeng, a rich and inhumane prodigal son, took out could be ordinary wine. "Your Highness, I won't accompany you to think about it quietly." Looking at Zhao Ting, who was completely stunned, Zhang Dongfeng directly joined the prodigal army. Before leaving, he even kicked the longbow that he loved so much hanging around his neck. "Eat enough three-leaf figs. Drink enough of this Wanchao Jingjiang liquid." Looking at the three people and one monster eating and drinking on the opposite side, Zhao Ting was about to cry. He was the eldest prince of the Qiang kingdom. Why did he feel that he was not even as good as a beggar now? What to do? "I also want to join them. But I can't be a prodigal." What is considered a prodigal? Anxious. Zhao Ting was really anxious at this moment. He knew that Zhang Dongfeng was a wine lover. Seeing him drinking a glass of wine with such enjoyment on his face, he could guess without thinking that the wine was definitely a peerless wine that they would never be able to drink in their lifetime. There was no reason, just because it was taken out by Yifeng. "I am just a swordsman. The most precious thing in my hand is the sword that has been with me for many years. But how can I be considered a spendthrift if I sharpen it?" Zhao Ting tried to calm himself down at this time. He never dreamed that one day he would be anxious, because he didn't know how to squander his money. Pills, useless. Spiritual herbs, useless. Spiritual ore, useless. Some 7th grade monster meat? When Zhao Ting saw some monster meat in his space ring, his eyes turned to his sword again. Sizzle. With a sizzling sound of grilled meat, a strong meaty aroma also floated in the whole house-shaped flying spiritual tool. Although it soon emanated from the broken roof, it was still smelled by the three people and the monster who were drinking. "Young Master Yi, how can there be wine without meat?" When Zhao Ting turned around, the three people and the monster saw that Zhao Ting used the fire spirit power to heat the sword blade of the long sword, and roasted the sliced monster meat through the heated sword blade. "Genius! Your Highness, you are simply a genius in the world of prodigals. I just happen to be a little greedy for meat. Come on, let's eat meat and drink wine, and tell your stories." Seeing this scene, Yifeng was really shocked. He really didn't expect that Zhang Guosher and Zhao Ting had such a strong potential to prodigals. Is this the power of prodigals? Seeing this scene, Zhang Dongfeng's mind exploded, because he realized something extremely terrifying. Yifeng did not ask them to do anything, but they could not help but take the initiative to spend money, even at the cost of their beloved spiritual weapon. This subtle change made him feel scared. It's so fucking cool. Looking at the wine and three-leaf figs in front of him, Zhang Dongfeng wished that he could lose more fiercely. Go to hell with the longbow, look at my spinning meat-cutting bow. Zhang Dongfeng felt that he could not be compared with Zhao Ting. He first picked up the longbow that he had kicked away before, then took a fist-sized piece of monster meat next to it and threw it out, and then threw the longbow in his hand out. When the monster meat was still rising, the sharp bowstring turned into a blade and cut off a piece of meat directly. When the monster meat fell, the longbow that came back cut off another piece of meat. Such precise control directly stunned everyone. Can you play a longbow like this? Seeing this, Tianhen looked at his soul-destroying bow that was used to hang his underwear, and felt that his operation was simply too weak. Master Zhang, we are all family, why are you so aggressive? Zhao Ting, who was standing by, was going crazy after seeing this. He only realized now that Master Zhang was so talented in squandering money. In order to squander money, he really didn't take the 9th grade longbow spiritual weapon seriously. If the purple arrow god of war saw this, he would beat him to death. These two guys have great potential to be a spendthrift, but it's a pity that they can't be brought into the sect. The people in the sect are indeed a little overloaded. As for being admitted to the spendthrift sect, it can only be blamed on their birth, which is a bit of a pity. Master Zhang, I'll give you this arrow heart advanced fragment. Although he can't bring it back to the sect, Yi Feng, as a spendthrift, must give some recognition to Zhang Dongfeng's potential to be a spendthrift, so as to recognize his ability to be a spendthrift. Your Highness, although your sword intent has not been cultivated to the extreme, this sword heart advanced fragment is given to you. When you comprehend the sword intent to the extreme, you can directly break through to the sword heart realm through this sword heart advanced fragment. Then, Yi Feng also handed Zhao Ting a sword heart advanced fragment. Looking at the sword heart, arrow heart, advanced fragment in their hands, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting were so excited that they almost cried. Go and practice. Being a spendthrift is the kingly way. Now they are simply envious of the people in that sect, including the dog. But Yi Feng has not said anything until now, and they also know that they will definitely not be able to follow Yi Feng, which will probably become a regret in their lives. Master Zhang, aren't you going to absorb the arrow heart advancement fragment now? After eating and drinking, Zhao Ting looked at Zhang Dongfeng with some doubts and asked. No. I will absorb it after I go back. I will break through to the arrow heart realm in front of the purple arrow god of war. When he asks me where I got this arrow heart advanced fragment, I will proudly tell him that I got it by spending money. Damn it. Hearing Zhang Dongfeng's thoughts, Zhao Ting couldn't help but swear. The purple arrow god of war is already seriously injured. At that time, Bai Lao's condition will be enough to stimulate him. You still want to add another knife? On the other side, Bai Tianhen and Bloodthirsty Mantis also discussed in a corner in a low voice. Handsome blood, we are completely defeated. Those two guys are really good at spending money. Bai Tianhen looked at the Bloodthirsty Mantis and said with a wry smile. He felt that he was a waste. He couldn't even spend money. It was a disgrace to Yi Feng. Chapter 169. If you want to lose money, then send your allies away. No. It seems like a complete defeat, but we have learned a lot. What we need to do in the future is to improve our ability to lose money as much as possible. After hearing Bai Tianheng's words, the blood-sucking mantis gave a different idea. Damn. Why do I feel that your words are so profound? Am I such a waste now? Bai Tianheng was really shocked when he heard the blood-sucking mantis words. Yi Feng on the side had no time to pay attention to the situation of everyone at this time. Now he has checked today's waste products. Today's waste product, Space Portal * 10,000 Space Portal, a special product of the Space Law in the Tiandao battlefield, a one-time item, activated by a drop of blood, can go to any place that Shantian continent has been to before, one-way transmission, and cannot return to the original place after the transmission. How did the Tiandao battlefield appear? How can there be so many strange things? Looking at the palm-sized white mini jade door in his hand, Yi Feng also became very curious about the Tiandao battlefield. Young Master Yi, is that a space portal in your hand? At this moment, Zhang Dongfeng's voice suddenly sounded from the side. Do you know him? Turning to look at Zhang Dongfeng, Yi Feng also asked, curiously. This thing is a first-class war reserve material in the Qiyang Kingdom. Anyone can take it to the Imperial City to exchange for the various cultivation resources they need. And this space portal is only qualified to be used by the 5 national guardian war gods. With it, no matter where other kingdoms want to attack from, the 5 national guardian war gods can arrive at the first time. Although the space portal is a rare special item in the Tiandao battlefield, someone can still get it from time to time. Over the past tens of thousands of years, the Qiyang kingdom has stored tens of thousands of them. Zhang Dongfeng looked at Yifeng and explained with a smile. The Qiyang kingdom has so many, so this broken thing is not a good thing. Hearing Zhang Dongfeng's explanation, Yifeng instantly disliked this space portal, but he directly ignored the fact that it took the Qiyang kingdom tens of thousands of years to store tens of thousands of them. But how can I spend this thing? Yifeng was also in a dilemma at this time. At this moment, with the appearance of a space wave, a space crack suddenly appeared slowly from the center of the house-shaped flying spirit artifact. System, use the function of spying on the secrets of heaven once, and check what is the situation of the space crack. Yifeng directly gave the system an order at this time. Ding. Consume the function of spying on the secrets of heaven once, and the god of war, one of the 5 national guardians of the Qiyang kingdom, is using the space portal and will appear on the flying spirit artifact. Using the space portal, you can go to any place that Shantian continent has been to. If you count this flying spirit artifact as a place, you don't need to care where the flying spirit artifact is, you can directly teleport to the flying spirit artifact. Using objects as locations, can this space portal still be played like this? After thinking of this situation, Yifeng instantly became interested. Activate with a drop of blood, and teleport to the dog's kennel of the Xinghuan sect dog. After being activated, the palm-sized space portal turned into a 3-meter-high white jade door. Yifeng directly blocked the space crack with the 3-meter-high white jade door. What kind of operation is this? The 3 people and 1 demon on the side all showed puzzled expressions when they saw this scene. They were still wondering what was going on with the space crack, but Yifeng blocked it with a space portal? Ha ha ha. Your Highness, the king is worried about your safety, so he asked me to come and protect you. Fuck. Who the hell put a space portal here? The tyrant sword god of war, who had just walked out of the space crack, stepped directly into Yifeng's space portal before he could react. The person who came was the tyrant sword god of war. He was sent away by Yifeng as soon as he arrived. Where was he sent to? Looking at the tyrant sword god of war who flashed before their eyes, Zhang Dongfeng and Zhao Ting were stunned. Another foreign god of war. Master Zhang, your highness, don't worry, I'm here, he won't show up here to hurt you. Yifeng also opened his eyes and lied at this time. I was just worried about how to lose money, so I sent the friendly army away. Young Master Yi, that person just now didn't seem to be a foreign god of war, but our country's tyrant sword. Before Zhao Ting finished speaking, Zhang Dongfeng on the side seemed to suddenly understand something, and quickly covered Zhao Ting's mouth and looked at Yifeng and smiled. Fortunately, young Master Yi acted in time, otherwise His Royal Highness the Crown Prince would be in real danger. Master Zhang, you are too polite, this is what I should do. Hearing Zhang Dongfeng's words, Yifeng also smiled and gave a thumbs up. Master Zhang, the one who just came was the god of war of Tyrant Sword. He came to protect me. Why didn't you let me explain it to Master Yi? Zhao Ting pulled Zhang Dongfeng to a corner and asked with a puzzled look. If nothing unexpected happens, Master Yi is ruining the family again. Of course, it is also possible that Master Yi didn't know who the visitor was at first, but the space portal was already blocked. Although he heard what the god of war of Tyrant Sword just said and knew that the visitor was a friend, not an enemy, he deliberately said it was a foreign god of war for the sake of face. No matter what the situation is, we just have to follow Master Yi. Anyway, with Master Yi here, do we still need the protection of the god of war of Tyrant Sword? Hearing Zhang Dongfeng's explanation, Zhao Ting also showed an extremely admiring look and exclaimed, Master Zhang, you are still thoughtful. Xinghuan sect, Sword Dog Courtyard. Where is this? Why am I teleported into a cauldron? And why is there a strange smell here? The tyrant sword god of war, who was sitting on the mouth of the heavenly grade furnace cauldron, looked at the strange courtyard and was completely confused. Woof woof woof. At this moment, a burst of rapid dog barking suddenly sounded from the side. Angry, the little yellow dog was completely furious at this time. He was just taken out for a walk by the sect servants. Who would have thought that when he came back, he found that his doghouse was robbed by others? How could he not be angry? Boom! The yellow spring sword intent of the sword heart realm burst out directly from the angry little yellow dog. Swish! A sharp long sword also burst out from the courtyard house. Fuck! What the hell is this? A sword dog practicing sword intent. Seeing the little yellow dog holding a long sword in its mouth and releasing the terrifying yellow spring sword intent all over its body, the tyrant sword god of war almost stared out of his eyes in shock. This is the breath of the little yellow dog, and the breath is filled with endless anger. There is also a strange breath. Someone actually wants to hurt the little yellow dog. It's looking for death. The Golden Will Emperor, who had just returned to his servant's residence, was instantly angry. Looking at the entire sect, apart from the sect master, Yi Feng cared most about the little yellow dog. If something unexpected happened to the little yellow dog, the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 170. The sword dog is angry, and everyone comes to help with the tripod. The little yellow dog is angry. Who dares to provoke Yi Xiao's most beloved number one sword dog on the continent? He is simply looking for death. In the luxurious villa, Xiaochen suddenly opened his eyes, and a burst of murderous intent burst out. Grandpa, where are you going? Seeing Chu Hongshan with a gloomy face dragging the giant tripod towards the outside of the courtyard, Chu Xiaoxiao also asked in confusion. Stay here and don't run around. The sect has a strong enemy coming, and the enemy's primary target is the little yellow dog. Even if I risk my life, I have to save the little yellow dog. After saying that, Chu Hongshan lifted the giant tripod and soared into the sky, quickly flying towards the little yellow dog's residence. At the same time, Xia Tianyu, Luo Kai, Bai Gang and others also rushed towards the little yellow dog's residence at a high speed, and everyone's face was extremely gloomy. Outside the sect's main hall. No matter who it is, even if you use the secret method of the upper realm, your master will save your dog. After saying that, Luo Qianxue also rushed towards the dog's residence at a high speed with a snow-white longsword in hand. On the other side. What are you yelling for? This broken tripod is your doghouse. It's so damn unlucky that I was teleported to a doghouse. The tyrant sword god of war could not recognize the heaven-level furnace tripod, and naturally regarded this heaven-level furnace tripod as a garbage yellow-level furnace tripod. But now he has a strong interest in this sword dog with the realm of sword heart. This kind of demon dog is the first time he has seen it. Wait, these auras are. At this moment, the tyrant sword god of war noticed the aura fluctuations emerging from all directions, and his face suddenly changed. Especially after noticing two ascended masters who were not weaker than himself, and even had soul strength far above his own, he panicked. Without time to think about it, the tyrant sword god of war also quickly took out another space portal, activated it with a drop of blood, and completed it in one go. Soon, when Tyrant Blade War God saw a group of strong men holding giant tripods appearing around him, he also noticed the Golden Will Emperor and Xiao Chen, two ascended strong men who could pose a threat to him, which made him rush into the space portal in a panic. On the flying spiritual weapon, when the 4 people and 1 demon saw the familiar space crack appear again, the expressions on their faces became complicated. Dare to come. Seeing the space crack appear again, Yi Feng was also happy, and quickly took out another space portal to block it. Too damn scary. Your Highness, you can never imagine how horrible I was teleported to just now. Fuck. Another space portal, Your Highness, don't mess with me. The moment he stepped into the space portal, Tyrant Blade War God saw Zhao Ting waving at him with a smile on his face, and he was going crazy. Interesting, he dared to come back after leaving, he really doesn't take us seriously. Looking at the Tyrant Sword God of War who came out of the space crack, the eyes of the Golden Will Emperor were full of amusement. Boom. Then, the Golden Will Emperor directly released the extremely terrifying soul pressure. As long as the Tyrant Sword God of War made a slight move, he would directly wipe out the opponent's soul. Even if his strength was sealed, he was still invincible in this lower world. Wait. Misunderstanding, this is all a misunderstanding. Sensing the unimaginable spiritual power of the Golden Will Emperor, the Tyrant Sword God of War was really panicked. He could clearly feel that the opponent's terrifying soul, like a vast ocean, was enough to easily wipe out his soul. Even though everyone was an ascended warrior, the gap between him and the opponent was no different from the gap between an ordinary person and a cultivator. He never dreamed that one day he would be like an ant when facing an opponent of the same level. At this time, Luo Qianxue noticed the word Qiyang on the robe of the Tyrant Sword God of War, and thought about it and asked, "Are you from the Qiyang Kingdom?" "Yes, I am from the Qiyang Kingdom." Before the Tyrant Sword God of War finished speaking, Luo Qianxue interrupted directly, "People from the Qiyang Kingdom are not good either. You just angered Guzi and scared us half to death. Everyone listen to my order, beat him up, beat him into a pig's head first." Half an hour later, "Are you the Tyrant Sword God of War, one of the 5 national guardian gods of the Qiyang Kingdom? You were going to protect the Crown Prince Zhao Ting, but when you appeared on the other party's flying spiritual weapon, a space portal appeared in front of you twice in succession, and then you were inexplicably teleported to these 2 times?" After hearing this, looking at the Tyrant Sword God of War who had turned into a pig head, Luo Qianxue thought for a while and continued to ask, "Do Master Zhang and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince have a space portal in their hands?" "No. The space portal is a special material. Only our 5 war gods are qualified to use it in the entire Qiyang Kingdom." Hearing Luo Qianxue's question, the Tyrant Sword God of War also hurriedly explained. He was really scared of being beaten. He thought that being beaten into a pig head was just a matter of taking a few punches and kicks, but he never dreamed that this group of lunatics actually used a tripod, and it was such a big tripod, and the power was controlled extremely accurately. Can I ask where this place is?" After explaining, the Tyrant Sword God of War looked at Luo Qianxue cautiously and asked. "This is the Xinghuan sect. 2 days ago, Master Zhang and His Highness Zhao Ting left with a disciple, an elder and a sect guardian demon for my sect. They are now on their way to the imperial city of the Qiyang Kingdom." At this point, Luo Qianxue explained some things to the Tyrant Sword God of War with an embarrassed look on her face. "The Dan God we are looking for is your disciple? Your disciple is too disdainful to take action, and brought a big demon over to prepare to refine the healing pill for the Purple Arrow God of War. If nothing unexpected happens, I have appeared here twice in a row. It is very likely that I just happened to catch your disciple squandering money." "Using the space portal to squander money?" After hearing this information, the Tyrant Sword God of War could not believe his ears. "God, using the space portal to squander money, do you know how precious the space portal is? Not to mention many kingdoms, even many major forces are stockpiling this thing. After all, this thing can save lives at a critical moment." At this moment, a space crack suddenly appeared not far away, and everyone's eyes followed it. "Fuck. What did you do to him?" When Yifeng walked out of the space crack, he saw the Tyrant Sword God of War who had turned into a pig head, and he looked at everyone with shock and asked. The sword dog was angry, and everyone came to help with the tripod. After understanding the whole story, Yifeng also laughed awkwardly. He really didn't expect that such a big mistake would happen. This wine. Wancha Chongjiang liquid. This pill, a magical pill that can relieve the effects of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid after drinking. Looking at the 10 pots of Wanchao Chongjiang liquid and the divine hangover pill that Yifeng gave him as compensation, the tyrant sword god of war gritted his teeth and looked at Yifeng and asked seriously, they didn't seem to be satisfied just now. If they beat me up again, can you give me 10 more pots?